जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम। क्या हाल चाल है आपके? उम्मीद है सब खैरियत से होंगे। So welcome to my channel Mathematical Room. So in our today's lecture we are going to learn something about the right angle triangle. So as you know that in our previous lectures that we have learnt that how can we find the angles in the of the triangles. So different kinds of we have drawn different kinds of shapes of the triangles, and then by using the properties of the triangle that we have found the different angles of the triangle. So now, as you know that we have already studied in one of our lecture that types of the triangle with respect to their angles. So if you remember that there are three types of triangles with respect to their angles. So one is called acute angle triangle, one is called obtuse angle triangle, and the third one is called right angle triangle. So as we know that acute angle triangle is that kind of triangle that having the angles less than 90 degrees, and obtuse angle triangle is that kind of triangle that one angle is greater than 90 degrees, and right angle triangle is called that kind of triangle that having one angle is equals to 90 degrees. So right angle triangle, about the learning of the right angle triangle is very important, because this by we use this kind of triangle in our practical life, that how can we find the lengths of the different things, how can we find the base or height of the different kind of things. So we will learn about these kind of things in our coming lectures. So today I'm going to tell you about something about the right angle triangle. So right angle triangle is that kind of triangle that having one angle equals to 90 degrees. So if I say that I am going to draw a picture of a triangle with a straight line and one diagonal line with one straight line. So if I'm going to give this name, give the names of this triangle, that if I say that this point is A, this point is B, and this point is C. So if you see that at point C that this angle is a right angle means that angle is equal to 90 degrees. So the triangle having one angle equals to 90 degrees, so that kind of triangle is called right angle triangle. So in this triangle we will going to learn about to find the length of the sides. So how can we find the lengths of the sides in this kind of triangle? By using a very special theorem that is called the Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras is a mathematician, so who told us that how can we find the different sides of the right angle triangle by using the sides of the triangle. So in our coming lectures we will be able to find the sides, length of the sides of a triangle, or you can say the sides of the right angle triangle. So I'm going to tell you about something that what the Pythagoras theorem says, that if you draw a right angle triangle picture like this, A, B and C, where C having a right angle or C point having a angle of 90 degrees. So that kind of triangle is called the right angle triangle. So in this kind of triangle, we give the names of the sides as A is the angle, A is the name of the angle, or A is the name of the vertex of this triangle. So opposite this point there is a side of BC. So we give the name of this side as small a, and opposite to this point, the side AC is given the name as small b, and opposite this point, the side is AB is given as the name as small c. So now, by using the Pythagoras theorem, that what does he say? That, so one more thing I'm going to tell you about the sides. So these sides, the triangle having three sides. So three sides in which two sides are making the right angle are called the legs of the triangle. Or we can say that in a right angle triangle where the angle of 90 is present, so these two sides are called the base and the altitude. So we can say that BC is the base of a triangle, CA is called the altitude of the triangle, and AB side is called the hypotenuse of the triangle. So these are the names that we have given to this triangle. So the two sides which having the 90 angle are called the base and altitude, and the side opposite to the 90 angle is called the hypotenuse. So the Pythagoras theorem says that the Pythagoras theorem says that the square of the hypotenuse is always equals to the sum of squares of the base and altitude. So we can write in the statement that square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of squares of base and altitude. So that's the definition that of the Pythagoras theorem that we have to understand, and we have to learn, and we have to keep this statement always in our mind while we're doing these kind of questions, or while we're solving the right angle triangle, or to find the sides of the right angle triangle, that we have to remember the Pythagoras theorem always in our mind, that square of hypotenuse will be equal to the sum of square of base and altitude. So if we will write down in mathematical form, so that will be written as square of hypotenuse will be equal to sum of squares of base and altitude. So that's the mathematical form of the Pythagoras theorem, and in most simply we can write down the C as the hypotenuse. So square of C is equal to base is A square plus altitude is B square. So we can say that we will always remember the Pythagoras theorem like C square is equals to A square plus B square. So C square will always be the square of hypotenuse, and A will always be the base or altitude, and B will always be the base or altitude. So these two, bases and altitude, can be changed, but hypotenuse we always denoted by C. So once again, I'm going to tell you about the right angle triangle. So right angle triangle, we will solve these kind of triangles by using the Pythagoras theorem to find the lengths of the sides of a triangle. So as you know that right angle triangle having one angle equals to 90 degrees, so this square box always shows that you have a right angle or the angle of 90 degrees at point C. So in this kind of triangle, by using the Pythagoras theorem, we will always return the statement like that: square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of squares of the base and altitude. So hypotenuse square will always be equals to square of base plus square of altitude. So we can write C square as C as hypotenuse, base as A, and altitude as B. So that's the mathematical form that we use to find the sides of the triangle of right angle. So let's take an example, a small example, that if we say that there is a right angle triangle, if I draw a right angle triangle over there, so A, B, C, and C having an angle of 90 degrees over here. So if I say that this side, the length of this side is equals to 2 meters, and length of this side is equal to, you can say that 5 centimeters, or you can say that 5 centimeter, and we will have to find the length of this side. So in this right angle triangle, we can say that the side opposite to the point A is equals to small a. So small a is equals to 2 meters, and side opposite to the point B will be equals to small b. So we can say small b is equals to 5 centimeter, and side opposite to the angle C is denoted by small c. That will be that side we will have to find. So by using the Pythagoras theorem, if we put the values of this triangle into this formula, so we can have the form like c square is equal to a square. The value of a is equal to 2, so we will put 2 meters square plus square of b is equals to 5 meters. So c square will be equals to 2 2s are 4 meters square, because we will take the square of this m as well, plus 5 5s are 25 meters square, and c will be equals to 24, and plus 5 is equal to 4 and 25 equal to 29 meter square. And if we have to find the value of c, so we will have to take the square root on both sides. So by taking square root, on both sides, that equation will become as c square under root is equals to 29 meters square under root. So that square will be cancelled with this radical sign, so that will become c is equals to 29 meter square under root. So that's the value of c. So that's how we can find the value of hypotenuse, that what's the side of the hypotenuse. This is the side of the length of the side of hypotenuse. So that's how we can, that was the very simple example that I have chosen by myself. So we will do some kind of more questions related to this right angle triangle, that how can we find the right angle triangle, and some kind of questions with the statements. So we will be able to find that the length, altitude of the triangle, base of the triangle, and hypotenuse of the triangle. But we will have to keep this formula in our mind, that c square is equals to a square plus b square. So c square always representing the hypotenuse, and a square plus b square can be changed into base and altitude. So that's how we can find these kind of questions. So in our coming videos I will do some kind of more questions related to this Pythagoras theorem. Inshallah, I will see you in my next video with some kind of more examples about this Pythagoras theorem. So once again, I'm going to tell you about the Pythagoras theorem. Always you have to keep this thing in your mind that Pythagoras theorem is always applicable on the right angle triangle. So right angle triangle have three sides, one base, one altitude, one hypotenuse. So Pythagoras theorem says that the square of hypotenuse or square of this slope length will be equal to sum of these two lengths. So that's the Pythagoras theorem. So we will see some kind of more examples in our coming videos. So don't forget to subscribe my channel. Inshallah, I will see you in the next video with some more examples. तब तक के लिए इजाज़त दीजिए. Take care of yourself. खुदा हाफिज़.